Today we're saying goodbye to SM2. Now I just want to make this as clear as possible before we jump into this video that this is not happening because the developers of SM2 have decided to just stop making the project or that they're killing the project, whatever it might be. This was not their decision. This decision was done by Activision. One of the developers that was working on the SM2 project received a cease and desist order from Activision, which means that they had to stop the operations for SM2, otherwise they'd be taken to court and sued by Activision. I want to make that point as clear as possible because I've seen some tweets from people who are covering this kind of information and it just doesn't really sit right with me. I really don't want there to be any confusion at all. The creators of SM2 have not decided to stop working on the project or stop making SM2. They were forced to by Activision. And I really do not see the creators of SM2 going to court against Activision, maybe trying to claim like fair use or something for the project, because they'd be going up against Activision, a multi-billion-dollar company with more lawyers than you can count on your hands and toes. So yeah, I don't think that's gonna happen. Activision also recently sent cease and desist orders to people who were making like creative maps on Fortnite as well. But what is very different is that those people on Fortnite have a chance to actually profit off of those maps and those servers and stuff, whereas SM2 was a non-profit project. And I'm pretty sure the reason that Activision is doing this is because they can. Call of Duty is their intellectual property, they own the assets, and at the end of the day, they can make these decisions and they can make these calls if they want to. And while I'm sure to some capacity the SM2 team knew this before they even started working on this project, it's still 2 years of work. 2 years of essentially volunteer work for trying to make the best possible project that they could for the COD community. Thanks to Activision, unfortunately, SM2 is now dead. Now, another thing that I would like to make clear before we dive more into this is actually explaining what SM2 is, because some people actually don't even know what this project was. It is not a remake of the original Modern Warfare 2. It's not like a remaster of Call of Duty, but it's actually closer to Call of Duty Online. The team behind SM2 wanted to create essentially a Call of Duty game that is a mashup of all of the best features from previous Call of Duty games. That includes the guns, the maps, the game modes, and it was also going to have its own progression system, which is going to make it very different from the other modded clients like XLabs and Plutonium, where you don't necessarily have to earn your progression. You don't have to earn all of your stuff all over again. You can use unlock all commands and just get everything immediately, so that way you can just get back on those old games and enjoy them. SM2 was going to be a completely different experience where you would, want to actually get on and grind and play this game every day. And it's pretty safe to say that a lot of people were really looking forward to this project because it was not only going to be similar to COD Online because they were going to basically take the best maps, guns, and game modes and put it into one thing, but SM2 was also going to have its own progression. So, you'd have to get on, you'd have to play, you'd have to earn XP and actually level up and get the guns, get the attachments, stuff like that. That alone is what made it very unique from XLabs and Plutonium because, those clients really serve the purpose of wanting to get back on, have everything unlocked so you can access everything and you can just relive the nostalgia, But SM2 is really going to be its own game that stands on its own 2 feet. But obviously, all of this leaves us with one big question. Why did Activision decide to do a cease and desist and take down SM2? Again, I want to make this as clear as I possibly can so no one misconstrues it, no one gets confused. Activision can send a cease and desist for basically any reason they want to. So as far as it goes for the reason why SM2 was shut down, it's because of Activision. It doesn't really matter why it's happening because the fact of the matter is that they sent it, and obviously the team is not going to fight it because again, Activision is a multi-billion-dollar company going up against a group of people like me, like us, who just play Call of Duty. You have to understand, man, the people who worked on SM2, they're not lawyers. They're just people who want to enjoy and play Call of Duty. They don't have some kind of immense legal team the way that Activision does. So as far as it goes for why the SM2 devs were sent a cease and desist letter from Activision, we can only speculate, and I don't really know if I want to do that because that kind of shit can just kind of lead into rumors and stuff like that, and I don't really want to go into that kind of territory. The SM2 project being shut down by Activision is obviously terrible news, but I've also seen some people have some really bad takes, and they've taken this into all kinds of weird directions. So honestly, I really don't want to speculate on the situation and then lead people astray with like different observations and different ideas of what's potentially going on. Just for some perspective, imagine that you're a small development team that has been working for over 2 years on a project that has gone unpaid. You're not being paid by anyone to do this. You're purely just volunteering your time, trying to make the best project that you possibly can for your community, and then all of a sudden you get a cease and desist order from a multi-billion-dollar company that's going to shut everything down. And obviously, since you're a small team that doesn't have the money or the resources to fight this cease and desist order, you have to shut down your operations. And on top of that as well, you have to drop the bad news on the community that the game is being shut down by Activision. Well, I don't know if it's just Twitter, man, but I've seen people actually getting mad at the developers of SM2 because the cease and desist order from Activision has shut the game down. So now we've got some super entitled people that are mad at the creators of SM2 because they're not getting their game, instead of getting mad at Activision because they're the ones that caused all of this in the first place. I swear, man, these are going to be the same people that buy the CDL Champs pack that has just been released and added to Modern Warfare 2. Which, by the way, absolute mega douche of a skin. If you buy this, you're a terrible person. There's just something that makes me like so mad about the fact that Activision is shutting down basically one of the best things to happen to Call of Duty. Obviously, they're not the ones that are behind it, which is probably why they're so upset about it. And then they released the CDL Champs Pack the day after.
Look at us. We're the rich kings. We've got all the money. You can't do anything.
I gotta breathe, man. I gotta calm down. So now that Activision has crushed the hopes and dreams of the SM2 team, what are they gonna do now? Well, I've talked to some of the SM2 team since all of this stuff has happened, and obviously I'm not gonna share private conversations and stuff like that. But as far as I can tell, I have no clue what they're gonna be doing now. I would imagine they're probably soaking their keyboards in tears because 2 years of their life has just gone down the drain. I swear, man, I'm like trying to stay calm while recording this, but it's so infuriating. I would probably imagine that after all of this has gone down, they're probably gonna take some well-deserved time off. I really can't imagine that they would want to try to jump right back into developing some kind of other project, because now that Activision has sent a cease and desist order to them, they've clearly got their eyes on them, and it's not the kind of eyes you want watching you. And as far as I can tell, Activision looked at the SM2 project and they're not impressed by it. They don't want to hire the devs. They don't want to give them a job and let them actually create something like this. No, they needed to kill it before we could even have a chance to play it. But yeah, man, I don't need to drag out this video any longer than it already has been. I think this just kind of solidifies the fact that Activision truly is the Call of Duty killer. Like, if they want to kill Call of Duty, they clearly can do it. SM2 is going to be like one of the best projects we've ever seen, and it's dead. Thanks to them. But even though this is obviously some pretty shitty news, I really do hope you guys have an amazing rest of your day. Thank you guys very much for watching this video. I'll see you guys later.